Hello YouTube and welcome to a game called Pet Alliance. Now this game I've been playing quite a bit on my free time, and since I know pretty much almost everything about this game at this point, I figured why not make a little bit of a few guides for you guys on this game, since probably some of you will eventually play this game, or if not, are already playing this game. And if you are already playing this game, and if you have started off, you're probably wondering, why am I so low level if I'm such an expert? The reason being is because this is actually a new account I started on this game, just to kind of give you guys a guide, kind of explore what we have here. So basically, this is the tutorial area. Nothing really hard, nothing really difficult here. Everything's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna kind of give you guides on not so much as the tutorial as the tutorial area, because you don't really need any guides on that. Just complete everything 3-star. Everything's really easy to do. It just explains everything you need to do. These little question marks, I suggest getting them every day, although it is kind of annoying to walk all the way around the map just to get them. So make sure you have those warp pads, warp tickets. Those are always very helpful. Flight tickets, whatever the heck you want to call them. You always want to do your daily quests so you can get these awesome rewards. They're pretty nice. You get we're getting Aquarius this month. That's pretty nice. Not really my cup of tea. She's a good pet. So what we're gonna kind of discuss in this video is basically what pets are good for the beginning and what pets you shouldn't use. Now, I'm going to give you kind of an example team. This is a team I was actually very fortunate to pick up an Elise from Gacha. That was very, very nice of the game to actually do that. I'm going to give you a kind of an overview of, like, the basic beginner team. Move that out of the way. Move that over here. Okay, so the basic beginner team is kind of going to look like this. This is kind of your basic beginner team. The levels, I didn't level them up because I stopped using them, obviously. But yeah, this is kind of like this is really what your team's going to look like in the beginning. Because most likely, you're going to either catch the Stone Soar, which is a Stain Soar at the beginning, or you're going to have, let's see, you're going to have Caterpie. This is pretty much your team. Or you can have him, but he comes like later at the end of the tutorial, so you're not really going to have him in the beginning. Honestly, in the beginning, you're probably not going to like these guys at all, actually. The only one you're really going to like is the starter, Pyro Gris. He's the best starter to choose out of the three. Oh, and also, this guy right here, Zerasaur. He's a very important pet to capture. If you capture him early on and he has transfer, you are set. This skill right here is very, 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 very good. For the beginning game, the mid game, the end game, it's all good. It's just all around amazing for PvE. It's great for PvP too. You definitely don't want to use this guy as offense. Look at his base stats; they're pretty garbage. Yeah, these are like the worst base stats for a bee out there. Actually, no, they're not too bad, but like, you definitely don't want to use him. He's more of a support guy, as you can see. He has an epic, but it's not really worth it. Yeah, so that's just the basic overview of the basic team. I am actually planning on building a panda. If you guys are interested in seeing how panda can possibly turn out good, I definitely don't recommend you turn him into Junder, because then you have to deal with Slash still, and Slash is a physical attack, while Junder is a magical attacker. Not good. So then, if you're not going to use Junder, alright, maybe I'll use Pyrander. Same exact issue. He's a magical attacker. Not good. Just not good, because, again, fire, I mean, yeah, you could probably make him into a pretty awesome physical attacker, kind of make him kind of like your Kingris, but he's not really going to be that good, and honestly, Kingris does a way better job as being your physical attacker if you're going to have him. And then last but not least, we have Fluxander. Fluxander is the only good evolution you could possibly come out of using this guy. He's not really that strong, but he's definitely the best option for the evolution of Panda. Because if you go with the other ones, you're going to have to deal with his magic attack being higher than his physical attack, and he's just not going to be that good. And then you also have to deal with Slash being your innate, which really hinders him. Any pet that's like magical attack and they have like a physical attack as their innate, it really hinders them. Especially if they're like really powerful in that situation. Like that field. You definitely don't want them to have like a magical or anything opposite of what their main attacking attribute is. You definitely don't want that. Pets like Whippy, they don't really care about their innate because it's more of a damage over time pet. And it's pretty interesting how this can also be kind of like a very big damage deal at the same time because of this skill right here. Psychic. Basically, when you get this up to max level or level 3, you do 45% extra damage, I believe, or 50. You do a lot more damage than you would normally do as Psychic. So you definitely do want to run some sort of damage over time with this pet always. And maybe run in like a recovery, but again, it's not really the best type of build. Maybe I'll build a Flora later just to kind of give you an overview of what this pet can do, but it's not really that powerful, and I wouldn't recommend her. Another pet you will pick up in the beginning of the game is Avu. Avu is another support near the end of like the tutorial area. You get him after completing all 3 stages of the tutorial, the last stage. And then you get this little Pikachu ripoff. Any really good supports he has aren't really worth wasting the Quartz Shard on. Yeah, Force is okay. It lowers their speed quite a bit, but not really necessary. Lock On, it's not worth getting this little Pikachu ripoff to 5 stars just for extra aim. Battle Cry, I mean, yeah, I guess it's alright. If you're building like a critical hit build pet team or whatever, I guess Battle Cry is kind of the thing you want to go for. I mean, he definitely does pair up well with Kingris with the Focus and Blaze build, because that's really powerful. Let me show you what I'm talking about with Kingris. I don't have Kingris right now because I'm not high enough level, but here's the pet I'm talking about. This is the evolved form of Pyro Gris. This is the pet we have right now. And oh, cool! I just got some mail. That's probably arena rewards. But yeah, this skill right here works really well with this skill because Blaze sets him on fire and Crossfire attacks up to 3 times with this skill. He can attack once with his normal attack when you don't have him on fire, and if you're faster than your opponent, you attack 2 more extra times. So that's 3 attacks, and combine that with Focus and Avu's Battle Cry, that's going to hit really hard. That's probably going to kill most of the time. Then you have his Epic, which aren't really that cool looking. They kind of suck. The physical attack Epic's definitely the one you want to go for. It's the highest hitting. And he definitely doesn't have a terrible, like, stat pool. I mean, yeah, it could be a lot better. But honestly, his stat pool is not that bad. You could definitely make do with his poor like defenses and just go all out in attack and speed, or you can build a magic attack build, which isn't recommended whatsoever because of his innate. You definitely want to do a physical attack build, but fire attacks are kind of rare with those physical attacks, so you definitely do want to build that physical. But in case you do want to build a magical attacking build, there is a build for him. It's still with Blaze, so very cheap. You don't even need to upgrade Blaze. You just need to have it at its base level 1 form. You give him Flame Vortex, I think it was. Let me check. Yeah, I think it was Flame Vortex. Where is it? Oh no, it was Flame Blast, right? Yeah, Flame Blast. You're gonna give him Flame Blast. It refreshes the burning on the target, so it actually is a pretty good attack overall, it definitely does work. And you could spam it. So you can always have the burn on your opponent. As soon as you set up Blaze, you don't have to actually use Blaze again. You can just keep spamming Fire Blast when the fire gets low. Or, if you're facing a fairy, you definitely don't want to have your King Gris left in there. Yeah, he has a higher chance of doing damage against fairies because he's stronger than fairies, but not a good idea. That's just kind of the basic overview of some of the easier pets to obtain. If you're definitely starting off in this game and you're definitely new, I highly suggest you start off with Pyro Gris, or Tignite as he's called in the beginning of the game. You definitely do want to start that off, and always do your gachas. Always pull gacha. I have been playing a little bit earlier, so basically you always have a free 5 senior gachas, and every 2 days you get a free Supreme gacha. I'm saving up gems, as you can see, just to kind of get some extra stuff. But you don't really need to save gems in the beginning unless you're going ultra try hard and trying to get them 10 times pulls. I suggest just going for those quick. I did not mean to do that, but yeah, just go for a quick pull and you'll maybe get something good. Volpre is definitely a good pull. Honestly, I would have preferred it being at her final form. Her final form is definitely the form you want to go for. If you're actually planning on building it, then if you're actually planning on building a SixTails, I'll give you a quick little overview of what SixTails Skills are and what complements her. It's pretty much the same thing as King Gris. You want to keep the Blaze. Let's go to Fire. SixTails. There we go. Lag. Alright, so yeah. Basically, Detonate. Similar to Crossfire, but not really. It's more similar to that Fire Blast skill we were talking about. You could probably run Fire Blast on her, but it's not really that good. You definitely want to run some form of damage over time counter, like Recovery. You could run Chaos Beam, but that messes with your Blaze a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's definitely a good skill, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not really that amazing of a skill. Now, moving on, we're going to go into... this is just kind of the basic overview of her skills. You definitely do want to run Blaze and Detonate. You don't want to get rid of Blaze. I mean, you can run Seer, but that's a little more expensive, so unless you have a lot of silver running around or sitting around, I suggest just sticking with Blaze, and eventually if you do want to switch to Seer, go ahead. That's definitely a plus in your direction. And for her active skill, you want to either keep Chaos Beam. It's not a bad skill, but honestly, I prefer running Recovery or Purge. Those are also very good options. I suggest going for Purge because that's it's cheaper, but it costs more energy to use. So it's kind of like a pick and choose you're saying here. If you want to run the Purge, then you're gonna sacrifice more energy to use it, or you're gonna run Recovery and sacrifice more silver. So yeah, choose what you want to do there. That's up to your preference there. It's not heavily expensive. It's like 2.5k on the market silver, not gold. I'll actually talk about the money system in here a bit. So basically, your gold is able to buy diamonds, but honestly, that's not really necessary. What you really want to focus on is your silver. That's your main, that's your most important income out of all of these things. Out of all your gold, your diamonds, the main thing you want to focus on is your silver. And let me see if I can pull up a quick. I'm going to show you kind of how much silver I have. I don't really have a lot. I'm going to plan on definitely getting a lot more silver. So let me just go over here. There's a little chat down there. Honestly, I'm not going to be chatting with anyone in this. So yeah, there's my silver, 260. That's what you need to buy skills. And that's just the life shop. Here's the real area you need for silver. The main place. This is your hub for silver. Here's the skill I was talking about before, Purge. Stay up there. Basically, here's what Purge does. It removes debuffs and it heals you. So that's really good. Recovery does the same thing. Let me see if I can find a recovery on the market. If not, we'll go to the skill book really quickly. Alright, recovery. That's lovely. It lagged. Recovery. Okay, so there's no recoveries on the market. Let's go to skill info really quickly and kind of show you basically what skills I was talking about. Okay, recoveries right here. Yeah, the recovery, same thing as Purge. They're the same exact skill. The only problem is this costs 3 energy and this costs 1. So you definitely do want to think about that carefully, because if you run Purge, then you're not going to be able to set up Blaze as consistently. But it's still an option to run Purge. You can still run Purge with Blaze. It's just not going to be as consistent. Yeah, it'll definitely help with your build. But it's not really going to be as consistent as the Recovery Blaze or the Recovery Seer setup. That's even more expensive though. So also, if you don't want to run like any damage over time stuff, you can run Ultimate Beam, and that's a really expensive skill on the market. That's going for like 5,000 silver plus. So yeah, this is what you want to run with your build if you are planning on not running any damage over time stuff. But I still recommend you do that, and if you're not planning on doing it on your actives, then you do it with your specials. Now your special, you can run Devil Curse. Devil Curse is the most expensive of the options, but it's the best. So here's what it does. It's immune to all debuffs for 4 turns, self-debuff, and reduces 2 energy of target for 2 turns. And then you have Fairy Shield, which is kind of similar, not really, but here's what it does. Instead, it transfers the debuffs, and it gives you extra defense, which that's really only for tanky pets in the game, but there's not really any tanky fairies that I could think of that are actually good, besides like maybe Capricorn, but she's not really that good in this meta right now. So you don't want to really run any tanky fairies. You want to run like the fairies that can hit extremely hard. And if you're not planning on using any damage over time recovery with your specials, then you're kind of like really scrapping here. You can run either Ghost. Ghost is a pretty good skill to run on SixTails, or you can give her Ember. But this is a little more risky because you actually have to pick and choose when you're going to activate your Ember, and if it's a really good time to activate it. Ember's very difficult to use sometimes because your opponent can easily just switch out and wait out the Ember and force you to switch out with like a tank pet, like Capricorn or something, and then you're kind of screwed in that point. Or you actually get it off, and then the Ember fades away because you killed your opponent and then you wasted your Ember. So there's the basic overview of Ember, in my opinion, on it. Definitely not a bad skill at all. Nowhere near a bad skill. I'd run Incinerate over Ember because it gives you a burn and extra damage. If you're gonna go for the full-on damage route with SixTails, not a bad build at all. Yeah, so here's what it does. It's definitely perfect to run because right after you set up a Seer, you can easily go for Incinerate and then refresh the burn, which is really good. And it also increases its own damage dealt when the opponent has a burn, so it's really powerful. It hits like a truck. And passives, the basic skills. I'm going to kind of show you what SixTails has as passives. So yeah, here's her passives. The support doesn't matter. You're not going to use her for support. No one does. Aim, you definitely want to keep on her. You want to replace this with Flame Coat. You want to give the second grade A. You want to give her what was it called? Let's go to passives again. You want to either give her Sky Fury, which is this right here, or you can give her Agility, Not really the best idea for her. I mean, if you want that extra speed, go ahead. It's not bad. Not that. You can give her not gravity. It's pretty much the same thing as you can give her Fire Oath, but again, that's really not necessary at all. It doesn't really help you that much. So yeah, I definitely recommend giving her Sky Fury, Area's Field, and replacing her beginning aim with this skill right here. Where is it? Arcane Field. This skill you can replace with aim very easily. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And if you guys want to actually play with me on this game, here's my info. Here's my player ID right here. And yeah, I'm not really very powerful at this game right now because, you know, it's a very new account. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, just kind of explaining this game a bit. I will be playing this game for YouTube a little bit more, but for now, that's gonna wrap up this discussion on the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.